Let's go. Oh, I shaved. What a surprise. Look at that baby face. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the podcast with a clean shaven Uncle Corey. What up, Rasher? North Waters. Danielle, welcome in. Daniel, sorry. My fault. What's up, Stubble? I know, right? It's been a long time since I clean shaved, let me tell you. We're getting a massive storm right now, so hopefully everything holds up. We have no issues. It rolled in like a minute ago. Just a black wall of thunder and lightning. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the likes. What's up, Cameron? Appreciate the reposts. We got a good one tonight. I don't know how many of you actually know Waleye Guy, but we're going to find out some stuff about him tonight. You know him? Cool. We'll see how well you know him. I know him. I've known him for probably about 6 months now. Something like that. But I've gotten to know him pretty well. I found out a lot about him and wanted to have him on the show. So, Strouds is on vacation. He's down in there with palm trees. I think he's down in Florida right now. What's up, John? I'm doing good tonight. Got on the board in the tournament. And I got on the board with a good one, too, in my opinion. Weighed in at exact 3 pounds. So, nothing to do but go up from there. So, I was pretty happy. For Fulton Beach. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I got on the board with a 3-pounder today. Throwing a structure bug, weightless. Appreciate it. Thank you. And he smacked that thing. The board, I haven't seen a whole lot of posts. I seen Bubba put up a 1-pounder and, Bass Junkie put up a 1-pounder. I haven't seen much else. Most everybody who's catching is also posting to the actual group chat, not just captain's chat. So it's it's looking slim. I think I have the biggest one on the board right now, but it's early. It's really early. You know, we're on day 2 of the tournament, so I'm expecting to see quite a few people start putting them up there. You got one to share, but you're going to do 1 share each day. The day's over, buddy. Go ahead and share it. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I don't know if you're getting the storms like I am. This one blew up out of the south. We knew it was coming, but I had no idea it was going to come in like this. What up, skaters? Sun is still out. Not here. Sun is gone. It is looking like night out there. I am doing good. Thanks for asking. Oh, Dan did put up a 1 pounder. I thought he said it was under 1 pound. Maybe he caught another one. When I'm at work, I can't have my phone on me. Not only that, inside the building, it doesn't work anyway. Come get your cold weather. Hey, it was 90 degrees here today. And of course, I was at work outside doing landscaping in the sun. So it was a hot day. When this storm blew in, it probably already dropped by 20 degrees. He put up a 1.8. Nice. Yeah, I sent him a picture of the one I caught. And he's like, I got to get over there where you're at. I said, it's not where you think it is. And he he basically called me a liar, which he's right. 57 there. That's pretty far south to be 57. We got 98 in Texas. 57 in Oklahoma. Wow. Yeah, it was 90 here, and I bet it's already dropped 20 degrees. Innovative says 98 in Florida. Whew. 52 in Wisconsin or Minnesota. So they're having a heat wave over there. That's like a heat wave. Humidity is thick. Yeah. Yes, it is. Excuse me. '71 Central Illinois. Yeah. You guys, I don't know if you're getting this storm or not. It might have been headed southeast or northeast. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure that leaderboard's going to start lighting up here. I think I got lucky. I got off work at 2:30. I knew this storm was rolling in right around 5, 6 o'clock, which was, appreciate it. Thank you. Which was good for me, right? They normally feed up right before the fronts come through. Not only that, they are finishing up their spawn. So, and big females are hungry. I seen a lot of fish still circling their beds. You know, they've got the young that are swimming around and feeding up, so they're still protecting them. And I seen quite a couple of them that looked a lot bigger than the one I caught, but I couldn't get them to bite. What's up, Miss Niece? Doing good, doing good. How are you today? Yeah, I can't wait to get my beard back, man. Oh my gosh. As soon as I did it, I looked in the mirror and went, that was a mistake. But I had to do it for work to get a respirator. So, yep, garden the fry. Yes, sir. So they're worked up, right? And you pitch something in there, and it's kind of funny. It's like they almost wait to see if the little ones are going to eat it, and when they don't, and you keep flipping it up in there and annoying them, they start to go crazy, swimming back and forth and swatting at it with their tail. And but yeah, I seen this one. It was clear water fishing, and you know how they do. Your bait's sitting on the bottom, and they don't come up to it like this. She come up over top of it like this, and I seen her nose start to touch it, and them gills flared up. I said, 1, 2, wham! I hit her. So it worked out in my favor. I like that clear water fishing. Man, when you can see exactly how they're doing it. Yeah, I talked to Bubba. I haven't gotten him to do it in a while, so Bubba's going to do the wheel for the giveaway tonight. I was actually going to ask you, Holly, but I think last time you were at work. Let me guess, you're off tonight. So yeah, I got Bubba doing the wheel tonight. Left early just for me. Thank you. What up, Killjoy? So if you don't want her to have anything, Ephraim, she needs to be the one doing the wheel. Even then, she's still in it. Her and Northwaters are really lucky. There's a few other guys that are pretty lucky. I've had a few people that have come up a couple times. I don't know if you guys remember. It was I can't remember what episode. Pretty Lures came up 2 or 3 times in a row. Appreciate the heart me's, guys. Appreciate the likes. Get it shared out. If you haven't shared it out, maybe try and get somebody in here who hasn't seen this yet. There's the man of the hour right there. A lot of re-winning in the Friday Night Live. Yeah. It's been a month since you won anything. Well, that's not. That kind of sucks, actually. So Pretty Lures is in the chat. If you guys don't know, make sure you go check them out. They go live every Friday night, 8 Central. I always second guess myself on that time, so correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, they do the Friday Night Live, which is a painting. It's always like Barrett Bates, Paul Tark, Smith and Whiskey, Benster, and then they pick random people to be in the paint off that night. 7 Central. Thank you. 7 Central. 7 Central. So if you haven't been in the paint off and you want to be in it on the Friday, make sure you go send a message to Pretty Lure and just say, hey, I want to be in the Friday Night Live. And they'll get you on the list. If there's no list, they'll let you know and you can be in that Friday night. So there he is. There he is. Just in time. Just in time.
Yeah, I had to scarf down my food real quick.
Yeah, I know. I do the same thing, you know. I got off work at 2:30, but I had to go fishing, man.
I hear you.
So
always got to make time to go fishing.
Oh, no doubt. And you know, that was one thing that was really appealing about this new job I took is it's 6 to 2:30. At 2:30 during the summer, you know, midsummer on, you've got so much daylight left to go out there and
definitely.
So
especially on the big pond if it's nice and calm.
Yeah. The other day we went to Indiana last weekend and we're driving home Sunday, and of course I come over the bridge. We're coming from the west, so headed back east, and I come over the Edison Bridge and the bay is flat. I mean, flatter than I've ever seen it, which is good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes flat water, there's no bite at all. But
but right at the mouth of it could be pretty good.
Yeah, it looked beautiful, and I probably seen 25 boats out there. So we haven't seen that this year yet.
That's
So
good.
people are getting up there. So, all right. Look at the
Thanks,
cowboy
Sims.
hat.
Woo!
You guys know what time it is. It is time for the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. This will be our guest tonight. This is Waleye Guy. If you don't know Waleye Guy, you're going to get to know him tonight. We're going to ask him all the questions. And then, of course, at the end, I'm going to open up the chat and let you guys ask questions that maybe I forgot or that you want to know the answer to. Don't forget, the podcast is always sponsored by Pretty Lure. Get over to Pretty Lure, and they have everything for your bait making needs. I always name a few things. I know they just come out with the check bait. They now have the PL Striker, which are some of their two new ones. And I'm sure they have other new stuff that is either out or coming out very soon. Make sure you keep an eye on that. And if you've watched any of Waleye Guy's posts, Waleye Guy it says it in the name. He does a lot of walleye lures, but at the same time, he's been getting some lures from Pretty Lures. He's been making some bass lures, and they are looking good. This guy knows how to paint. So don't forget to get over to Pretty Lures and check out everything over there. At the end of the show, we are going to do the giveaways. Pretty Lure always does a giveaway. That will be that $25 gift code. So you can go over to Pretty Lure and you can get exactly what you need for painting. May it be the lures, the paints, maybe you tie. You can get your stuff for tying over there. If you do not make lures at all, you can get David Barrett Baits to make you a custom lure. So we'll have that giveaway. And then Waleye Guy has decided he's doing 2 giveaways tonight. So you have 3 different chances at one of the giveaways. So other than that, how we doing tonight, buddy?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Doing good.
Actually, as you were texting me, I was actually trying to find the very first lure I have ever made, and it was still in my Plano box, so I found it.
So you found it.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. I did not keep my first lure. When I started doing it, as soon as you were done with your first lure, people are all over it. They want it right now. So, but what state are we out of?
We are in Minnesota.
You're in Minnesota, so you're in that 50-degree weather too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it feels like winter almost all over again.
Now, you get warm up there, don't you? I mean,
oh, yeah. We'll get over sometime with the heat index, we'll get up to 114 sometimes.
Yeah. It just takes a little longer before your summer really hits up there. And I'm surprised you're not getting some of that. My goodness, we're in the 90s down here in Ohio.
Yeah, we've had some severe storms. Well, at least my area. I'm in the southern part, just below the cities, and we've had some severe storms the last couple of days and several tornadoes on Sunday. So,
well, that's probably a lot of that hot air coming from the south up your way, and then that's one thing I was afraid of just now. We're getting a massive storm right now. It was like a black wall moving in. And I was standing outside with the wife yelling at me to get inside because the wind kicked up by probably 30 miles per hour. And all of a sudden the temperature just started dropping. And she's like, okay, get inside. So you're up in Minnesota. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, been married to my wife. Well, been together for 24 years. Been together married since 2008. Have one little girl, 7 years old. Handful. Originally from Fargo, North Dakota. So yeah, come from family fishes, and that was always walleye growing up, and a couple catfish strips down to the river. But other than that, just mainly walleye.
So you say originally from North Dakota?
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Minnesota? Did you kind of grow up to 18 or so in North Dakota and move to Minnesota, or?
No, so I graduated high school and everything, and in 2007, I moved to Colorado.
Oh,
My
okay.
wife got a job out of college, went down to Colorado Springs, and we lived down there for a few years, and then moved to Denver, southern part of Denver,
Okay.
and lived down there from 2011 until just like 2020. We bought our house in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. So Minnesota is it's fairly new to you then.
Yeah, as far as living here as a state, yeah. I'm from typically Fargo Moorhead is right on the border, Minnesota and North Dakota.
Hmm.
So growing up as a kid, constant, we had a cabin in Minnesota, so I
Oh,
remember going out to the cabin all the time, and it was just an hour drive from town, so we'd go
yeah.
spend our weekends out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So is this where you're gonna stay now? You guys don't plan on going anywhere else?
I like the ice. I'm weird. So I convinced my wife to sell our little townhouse in Colorado for the same price that we bought our big house here in Minnesota. Uh, so that was kind of a trade off. So I could have more of an ice season. I'd rather be on the ice than on a boat.
Okay. So, are you doing like the big, like we'll call it ice cabin, or are you just shanty fishing?
No, I have a shanty that's a pop up hub. It's got 74 square feet to it. So I put a cot in there and a table and my heater and a stove, and I do it all. I even bring out my smoker.
Oh my goodness. See, I went ice fishing, couldn't even tell you where. I was young. I must have been 10 or 12 years old. And my mom's boyfriend at the time took me ice fishing somewhere way up north. And I mean, you hit the four wheelers and you went out on the ice and you got in a mansion is what you got into. And they had TV and heaters, and you're just sitting there. You could be sitting there in your shorts ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was nuts.
I got a couple friends that occasionally, if it's too bad, they'll pull their house out. And yeah, one of them's got a house that's, I think it's 34 feet and it's got three slide outs in it. It can sleep up to like eight guys in it, and it's got satellite radio and TV, and we'll sit
Okay.
back and we'll watch TV and just sit there and fish.
Now we're talking about my kind of ice fishing.
Yeah, I told
Out
him, I said, hey,
here,
I like this. I just show up and you have all the holes drilled, the ice house is already set up and everything. We're ready to rock. I like this.
right? You're pulling them out of the water and flipping them in the frying
Yep,
pan.
exactly.
So that's a whole lot different than I think anybody. Ohio and South. I mean, you don't get to do that. The ice
No,
is iffy a lot, and if you do get to ice fish, it's just a clamshell. You know what I mean, with a lantern, and it's still pretty cold. They're getting better and better as the years go by, but I don't think we'll ever have anything like what you're talking about up there.
yeah, I mean, I'll walk out, but our lakes are pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, I will walk to some of our smaller lakes, and get out to my spot in the early ice season. But as soon as there's about 10 inches of ice, I'll drive my truck.
Oh, see, and
I'm too big to do all that walking.
just saying that weirds me out because I'm like a truck on the ice. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it, right? I've seen it in Indiana, Wallasey Lake. Indiana is where I was basically raised at. Um, but I never once ever thought I'll take my truck out there. I'd see a truck going by and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
It's different up here, though, I will say, because, well, depending on the ice season, of course, and the weather. But a lot of our lakes and the area lakes that don't have the guides and everything and the resorts on them, A lot of them fish those lakes, so they have plows on their trucks, and they'll actually plow roads on the lake. So it doesn't, they remove the snow, so it's no longer insulated. So it's constantly growing ice, and it's probably the thickest and the most healthy ice out of the whole entire lake is on that road.
Wow, that's that's amazing. I see your comments down there, S and J. I try not to pay attention to the comments because I'll get caught up looking at the comments. All right. Anyway, ice fishing, that is definitely a big season for you guys. It can be here. It just kind of depends. You know, we have to have a really cold winter. Otherwise, you're fighting ice shelves breaking off and all this other stuff. And I'm just not into it. I'd rather sit at
Yeah.
home during the winter and paint lures than try and deal with that.
I don't blame you. That's a long float on Lake Erie if you go out there.
And, you know, I recently found out it really doesn't cost anything to be rescued, right? So no big deal. You know, they got to come get you with a helicopter. I say no big deal, but I don't think I'd be a fan of it.
No,
But
I don't think I'd like leaving all my gear behind because they're only taking you and that's it.
that's it
There's
right
nothing
there.
else.
I don't care if you're snowmobile, four wheeler. I don't care what you're on or what you have with you. It stays on the ice float, and they just
Yep.
take you, and you lose everything. And if we're talking about four wheelers and stuff like that, you have to pay for that. You
Oh
have
yeah.
you have to pay the EPA fee or EPA. Is that right? Um, you know, you have to pay all those fees for all the oils that you're putting in the water and all that, and then you got to pay them to get them out.
Yep.
So, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. So, what do you, is bait making your full time thing, or is there something
No.
else you do for a full time job?
Yeah, I'm actually a QA IT for a mortgage servicing company.
Okay.
So that's my primary job.
Yeah.
The bait making stuff back when before I moved to Minnesota, me and my business partner at the time, we were doing very, very well. Um, in the bait making realm, but there's definitely more bait makers by the thousands now than there was back then.
There has to be, and I'm sure things have gotten cheaper and more readily available as the years have gone by too. So, which brings me to my next thing is how long have you been painting?
I've been painting. I actually had to go back and look at my first photo from when I started painting. The very first day I painted a lure was January or June 21st of 2015.
Oh wow.
So
So
coming up,
you've been at this a while, so man, the change that has gone on since you started
yeah,
has to be massive.
it's huge. I mean, to see how many people now, I mean, we were just on Facebook at the time, the book, sorry, at the time. Um,
You're
and we
fine.
would host, Thursday night lives, basically something like this, and we'd paint up a bunch of random colors and
Yeah.
and sell them that way.
Yeah.
And we would be sold out in about 10 minutes. 180 lures gone. I mean, we'd have to stop because of all the messages and everything coming in on the book that we're claiming so many numbers of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time, there was only one other bait maker that was in the state of Colorado. And I think now that I've looked recently, I think there's 15 now in the whole entire state. And there
Wow.
may be even more than that I don't know about. But
Yeah, that's the thing. The bait making community is so huge. I mean, I always refer to one guy telling me, "Well, there's only about 20 of you." And I'm like, "Oh, you're mistaken. There's
yeah,
thousands of us. There's
I mean, I
thousands.
think
We only know small groups, right?"
well,
So
yeah, that's the thing.
I've gained tremendous following since starting the podcast and starting growing in the bait making community. But I still meet somebody new all the time, and I send them a follow. I want to get to know absolutely everybody. But this is just one of the reasons I was very excited to have you on the show is you've been in this for multiple years. Like you said, you started over on the book. TikTok wasn't even a thing.
Yep.
So how long did it take before you picked up that TikTok was growing the way it was for bait making?
I actually didn't even start a TikTok until 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was still mainly on the book, and I kind of didn't have the time anymore, to do as the numbers that I was doing and the amount that I was doing every day.
Yeah.
Um, and when I say it's a lot, I mean, between when I was doing it as a business with my business partner, we were doing, we did ice fishing jigs, um, and then we did crankbaits as well. But there wasn't any given day that I would sit down and paint 60 in a day,
Yeah. Wow.
multiple different patterns and colors and everything like that. And then he would sit down and paint around 120 of them in a day. So we were pumping out some numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and as you mentioned, you didn't start TikTok till maybe 5 years ago. I've been a fisherman since I was a little kid, and not till recently did it cross my mind to even punch in something like that on TikTok to find the bait making community. So, guys, if you're bait makers and you're in this bait making community, make sure you're pushing out posts and you're talking to new people and letting your friends know that it's something that you do, because there's so many people out there who still don't know about this. And as soon as I found out about it, I was on live every night looking for an auction. Like, who's selling? Who's selling? I need more. I need
Yeah.
more. So that's how I got into it. That's how I got into painting. But it's amazing how quickly it's growing, and I mean, from your perspective, I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it looks like now to you.
It's gotten crazy. And I will say, I guess the thing that kind of I decided to go down a different track. Rather than doing all auctions and that stuff, I went a
Mm-hmm.
different path. I did try the bait store stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in my point of view, and this is my point of view, there's nothing wrong with bait stores, but you spend your time, you spend your money on that. Time is money,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
That bait costs you the same amount of money, whether you're in it for a blank and you charge a flat rate of $6 to paint that blade. Now you're in it for 8. Well, you go to a bait shop, they want it for 4. There's
Yeah.
no money there. And
Yeah.
so it doesn't make any, to me, it didn't make any sense to reduce it down to that, and that's working with bait shops in the past. Um, you can't, there's no money there. You're losing money, and if you're in the business to lose money, you ain't going to last long.
No. And I think the perspective that somebody small like myself has is I just want to make enough money to buy the newest lures or blanks that are out and buy more paint and stuff like that. I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to have fun, hang out with everybody, and do a hobby.
Yeah.
And
And there's
but
nothing wrong with that either.
I would have to agree with you when you start thinking about what you have to put in to get into the bait stores and things like that. It ends up taking a lot of your overhead.
Yeah, and not all base stores are the same. You
Right.
will have some owners that will agree with you and say, hey, what do you want? And they'll work with you. They may just have to up their price on their end,
Yeah.
but I mean, most of them that I dealt with in years ago in the past, they wanted like a, you know, X three color pattern for X amount since it's easy, and then a, more difficult color pattern that takes a little bit more time for, a little bit more of a price hike.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever try and go into the bait store. Um, I barely even look for people. I just paint baits and I put them up and I do the auctions. But if somebody's looking for something that you've done, where can we find you?
You can message me. I'm on all platforms. I don't go as Walleye Guy on everything. It's just on here, but Travis Rorick on Facebook. I don't. I have Instagram. I don't really use it much, so primarily just the book and on here.
Yeah, yeah. I ignore the book a lot. I go over there and I accept friend requests and I answer people when I check it, you know, maybe once a day, maybe.
Yeah,
Um, but for me, this is where I'm at probably 95% of the time.
I'd have
Uh,
to agree. I'm usually on here scrolling around, looking at new stuff.
yeah.
Trying to
I,
find
th-
new people.
I think if they would update the delays to their live and stuff like that, I think they would get a lot. Let's just to generalize it, if it was more user friendly, I think
Yeah,
they would get a lot more over there. But this is where it's at. If you're trying to do a live or something like that, I think this is where you need to be.
yeah, definitely. From a social media standpoint, yeah. I mean, like I said, when we first started, um, we would sit outside of boat launches.
Yeah.
Go to, you got a league event going on nearby at one of your lakes, show up with a bunch of lures, sit on your tailgate, display them, talk to people, get to know them. That's how we did it. And that's how we got started. Your local
Like,
community, here's my thing. You're painting base for your local area regardless,
yeah.
for the most part, because if they don't sell, you're going to go use them out on the body of water and fish them.
Yeah.
So they're already made for that area. So why not try to go around and get your name around to that local community that you're around and see if you can't get them to, support you
Yeah. Yeah.
in one way or another.
I'll tell you what, I went fishing with S&J last summer. And it's funny that you mentioned, just go sit down at the boat launch. I would have to say most guys wouldn't do that. And I was S&J and I were fishing, and he's got a pocket full of baits, in his pocket, and he's like, "Oh, let's go up to the local bait store," and I'm like, "For what? I'm not going to buy any baits." He's like, "Oh, let's just go up there." So we head up there, and he did not even hesitate. He went to that front counter and he's like, "So do you guys, support local bait makers?" And he just starts talking to him. Now he didn't get into that bait store, but you miss 100% of the thing. 100% of the shots you don't shoot.
Yep.
And he was not afraid to walk straight up to that front counter and just whip out one of his baits and, "Here, check it out," because they did have some off-brand stuff in there that had to be local. And so it's funny that you mentioned that, because S&J will do it. He don't
Oh yeah.
care.
I mean,
He'll
I
jump
still
right
show
down
up
there.
today with majority of my tackle. I mean, I got quite a few, boxes and everything, but depending on what I'm using that day, whether it's liquid crankbaits or jerk baits, I'll bring all my Plano boxes I have.
Yep.
And somebody's curious of what I'm catching fish on, here, right here, you want one?
Here's a lure and my
Yeah.
business card.
I mean, it was funny. I was took a buddy of mine down fishing, and I painted just as lure. It was white, translucent, white belly, white top, orange on the bottom, and just smacking walleyes one after another. And my buddy's like, "All right, I'm done watching you catch all these. I want one." And I said, "All right," handed it to him. First cast snagged and broke off. I said, "Cha-ching!" I said, "You want another one?"
That'll be $10.
Yeah.
Oh, S&J heard what I was saying. He said he's got a trench coat now, more organized.
There you go.
Oh, that's great.
And the
I
depot boxes, the big depot boxes, yellow and black ones, those work out pretty well with the individual containers in them.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. So there's a perfect idea for any bait maker is go down to the local launch and take your fishing pole with you. Stand there at the pier where everybody's launching, start catching some fish in front of them. They might want to know what you have over there.
Oh yeah, it's worked
So
more than once.
who or how did you get into pending to begin with? I mean, this has been years ago and you've been doing it ever since. So, but you started somewhere somehow.
Yeah, so grew up fishing. I mean, I've been fishing with my dad since I can remember. I mean, 4 or 5 years old, probably. Um,
Yeah.
when I lived down in Colorado, I ended up losing a job in between jobs, and I had been watching some videos on some lure makers at the time and airbrushing. So I just bought the same kit as most do, the Masters kit, and bought some blanks and just try to win at it. And then a couple of my friends that later on, after they found out I started the airbrush and stuff, they actually poured lead. So we started making blade baits. So I'd buy blade bait blanks off of him that he would pour for me, and then I'd paint them along with some blanks as well. Um, kind of went from there, and then those two decided that they didn't want to, take on the full commitment of going all in on it. So it just left me. So I kept on learning the airbrushing side of it and the techniques on how you spray, what angles, all that stuff to get the effects that you want. And that's huge when you're trying to blend in colors, how you're angling your airbrush, how you're angling that bait.
Yeah.
Same with stencil work. You don't want to spray underneath it. Um, and out ice fishing, I met a friend through another friend, and come to find out he was a vet. And me and him hit it off, and we started our own business. We opened it up, and we were in it for 5 years. And he's the guy that taught me 99% of what I know today. He was also painted cars as well. He did automotive stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, he's the one that taught me all the airbrushing stuff, and that's who I got it from.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say most newer airbrushers and stuff like me, I learned and got the interest from being on TikTok, talking with Bubba and Swamp Rooster and S&J and Wicked Witch Lures. And I think me and Wicked started about the same time. And it was in Bubba's live. So it was Bubba and S&J and there was a few other people. I'm drawing a blank right now. Sorry about that, guys, whoever else was in there. But yeah, so that's how I got started. When somebody asked me, it's not really a great story on how I got started other than being in the lives and just taking interest in it. So it's kind of nice to hear that you kind of started your own thing and it has just grown for you since.
yeah, yeah. I mean, social media has definitely helped expand, and get out there. And you, like you said, you don't see me in a lot of auctions. You don't
No,
see me posting a whole lot of the stuff that I paint.
nope.
A lot of it is because of who I paint for. I can't disclose those paintings. So
Okay. Okay.
I paint for a lot of professional walleye anglers, so I can't show their pictures or anything of what their secret colors are or patterns are or anything. So
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I can't say that. I paint any and everything and I'll show it all because None of my stuff's a secret. I hope someday that I might get to paint for some pro bass guys who say, "Hey, don't be showing that anywhere." And I
Um,
know there's a few people out there like yourself that do paint for people like that, where they're like, "Hey, I want this color on this bait for, you know, whatever reasons it may be," and they're like, "But don't show it to anybody and don't paint
yeah,
this for anybody else."
yeah. I mean, some of them have even came at me with disclosures, disclosure agreements, and I have no problem with that. I mean, so if
I
they
don't
want
think,
to keep it top secret and just for
yeah.
themselves, I'll sign the dotted line.
I don't think I would have an issue with that either. I mean, if it's something that you're that confident in and that works that well for you,
Yeah,
if that's how you want it, that's fine. You know.
exactly.
So, but that's awesome, man. That is really cool. So you've branched a little bit, right? So you've done. Let's talk about what all you actually do. So we know you do airbrushing on the walleye baits,
Yeah,
but
so I pour my own jigs, pour my own blade baits. I tie my own hair jigs. I tie my own crappie baits. Um, I actually just got into carving my own baits out of wood.
nice.
So I actually created my own mold. So I got my main that I carved, and then I created a mold out of it. And now I got a couple prototypes that I've poured and made. So now it's time to go test them out and see the action on them and see how they work before I really start producing them.
See, what did I tell you guys? This man moves in silence. He moves in silence. I had no idea that you've done all of that. I knew there was more to you than what is usually mentioned, right? That's how
Yeah,
the whole podcast got started is you're in a live, you're interested in let's just say I'm interested in what you're doing. You only have so much time, and then there's eight other people who have those questions as well, right? So
exactly.
you don't really get that one-on-one to really get to know somebody, and
Yeah,
that's how all this came about. And I knew bringing you on the show, I knew your years of experience, and I'm like, this there's so much more that we don't know. And one thing I do know now, and it is a um, good quality, is you do move in silence. You do a lot of
yeah,
things that most people don't know about.
yeah,
And sometimes that's the best. I mean, let's say you prototyped a new lure and you're online on a live just showing off that new lure. Next thing you know, 2 days later, somebody's like, check out my new lure.
yep,
I just seen it. I just seen
exactly.
it.
100%.
So that's, I would say, the great thing about social media is getting your name out there and being able to
Yes.
be all over the world at one time. The bad thing, excuse me, the bad thing is if you're showing an idea on here, it's now everybody's idea, and there's
Yep.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Um, I was talking with a friend the other day. He had come up with a new lure, and I said, before you start showing that thing, you need to trademark it. You need to get a patent for it because it was a great lure. And he's like, man, that's $5,000.
I know.
He's like, I don't. What if it's a flop? What if we think it's great, but it's not great? You know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out $5,000, and I just can't do that. So it really brought to my attention. He's like, besides, I've already showed it a couple times, and now it's out there, and anybody can get it. And he's doing well with the lure, and the lure works great. But you're out there hanging in the breeze. Anybody can take it now.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I have one next to me. I thought about showing it, but I got a couple of the pro guys that I've shown, and they're the only ones that I've shown, and they're like, "That is money." I'm like, "Okay, maybe I'll hold on to it. I
So,
probably
so
won't patent it, but
I
I'll
was
hold
gonna
on
say,
to
is
it."
that something you've ever done? Have you ever patented something? As soon as I mentioned how much it was, you're like, "Yep."
No, I've never patented anything. I got family that are, big into the engineering side and creating their patents and stuff like that. But I've never done it.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, if it's something where prototype it and, it just does amazing, you know, I guess I don't even know if I could prototype it. I'll tell you that.
hmm
Because it's kind of a mix between two other baits that are similar
okay, hmm
in a way.
okay,
Um, but I haven't tested the action out on it yet. But I mean, that it's kind of a cross between two different baits.
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to get you to tell any
No,
secrets, so let's not
no,
even
I know
try and
that.
do that. But yeah, and you can see down in the comments, a lot of people agree with that, and
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. People are going to
it
do
is.
that, and let's say you're with the most respectful group that there is. There's always somebody else that's not part of that group that stumbled across the live that it's going to happen. So in in a nutshell, guys, if you have what you think is an amazing lure, just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell
Yeah,
anybody. Just make it happen. Just do
exactly.
your thing. So
I mean, that's like you see painters, and not all painters are that way, but you see a picture and they'll match it 100%. It's like
yeah,
you could have used the colors, flipped them a little bit, threw a little bit more detail into them, make it your own
different.
style,
Yep.
but you like the colors that they were. That's fine, but make it yours.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. And I think we've all said it before. You know, um, eventually there's a point where there is nothing new to a paint scheme. It's just your own touch to that previous paint scheme. So,
Exactly. We all only have the same colors. You only can mix so
yeah,
many colors together.
yeah,
And I get that. And I guess being in it for so long that I have, that if I do see a bait that know I made and created and somebody replicated it, I take that as an honor. You know,
yeah, yeah,
other people get mad. Hey, you stole my pattern. That's my bait. Whatever. I don't look at it that way.
yeah,
I influenced you in a way enough to where you actually wanted to copy 100%, and you did a fairly good job at almost executing it to 100%.
yeah.
I give you props on that. I'm not
That's a
in it to
great way to
make
look at it.
not in it to make money off of these.
Yeah, yeah. But that's a great way to look at it. And you're 100% right. A lot of people do get disgusted and they get mad.
Yeah,
But you're right. If you've taken the time to try and do my work 100% exactly how I did it, you liked it that much, or maybe it done that well, other people liked it that much. That is kind of a compliment.
it is. Yeah, I've
So,
seen some heated feuds on other areas of social media, and it's like,
yeah.
really, it's a bait.
Easy,
Yeah,
easy.
and I mean the way I look at it is when you start painting, you have to build a reputation. You have to build up that community around you. And is it worth a bait that was copied to possibly lose all that? Because now you can screenshot the comments, and next thing I know, it's posted all over the place on another platform, and they're calling you
Yep.
every word in the book.
Yeah.
My reputation is worth more than that. I don't need that.
Yeah. No. Stay away from all that kind of drama stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Good answer, man. I love it. We're going to give you just a short break if you need something to drink or anything. Don't forget, guys, the podcast is always sponsored by Pretty Lure. Go over there for all your bait making needs. Make sure you guys at least check them out. Go over to the site, check them out. If you do happen to make a purchase, you can put in the notes, and I actually recommend you do this so that they know that their sponsorship is being seen over here. Put in the notes that you found them through the podcast. Um, Let them know how you got over there, and I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed once you get over there and start looking. I guarantee you, your cart's going to be bigger than you thought it was going to be. They've got a lot of stuff, a lot of different paints, a lot of different skirts, some exclusive stuff. They have some exclusive paints are coming up, some exclusive Chanel's skirting, blanks. They have a lot of stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So if you haven't checked them out, you are missing out on a lot of stuff. So get over there and check it out for yourself. Don't forget that the podcast is always posted over on the YT page. That's the podcast 2025. You can go over there and watch all the previous episodes. This right here is episode 24. So there's plenty of previous episodes to go over there and watch. Stream them at work and just listen to them in your earbud. I've heard a lot of people say they do that. So make sure you get over there and check it out. At the end of the show, we will do the giveaways, and when the interview is over, we'll let you guys ask him some questions that maybe I forgot or you'd like to know the answers to. So when it comes to airbrushes, do you have a certain airbrush that you absolutely love to use?
You know, I do. I guess I tend to go to my Iowata Eclipse most of the time. But I run three airbrushes, all
Oh,
different needle sizes. Um, Probably I use a point zero. If anybody knows what a point zero is, it's like a $20 airbrush on the Zon, and I probably used that for 8 years.
what?
Yeah, I didn't actually just. I bought my Iowata just 2 years ago.
Wow. That a lot of people use the cheaper airbrushes, guys. It's not always the airbrush itself. It's that artistic ability behind that airbrush, right? I could
Yeah,
have a $5,000 airbrush to go up against your $20 airbrush. And I'll say it right now, this guy's a better painter than I am. So some of the patterns that he lays down they're just going to look better. It's just going to look better. But, he's got 10 years
several years of
experience on me.
experience.
So I'm not disappointed that he's better than me. He's put his time in and he's put the effort in to be as good as he is. But so your airbrush that you like to use is the Iwata Eclipse, which is a great airbrush.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to that it's a 3.5 needle that I use on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can spray it really fine, and the trigger is very smooth on it. Whereas my point zero is a little bit more, I have to pull back more, and
Mm-hmm.
in order to get anything to spray. So if I'm doing really fine detail work or I'm doing really fine layering, I tend to go to the Iowata just because it does not take much trigger pull to get that thing to start spraying.
Yeah. And I'm the opposite of you. I have a master's is what I started with, and now I have I want a Neo, and I have trouble switching to the Neo because it's so touchy, right? So, like you said, I have to pull harder and further back to get more or to get it to paint the way I want it to. Whereas I'll turn around and pick up the Neo and I'll start to do the same thing. And the whole bait just has paint all over it. And I'm like, oh, that was a
Yeah,
mistake.
and I think, I mean, to touch on that, the reason why I started with the point zero, and I don't know if the Masters have it too, but I believe where they have a trigger lock in the back of it, so you can adjust how far you can
Oh,
actually
we're losing
pull.
him a little bit.
Can you hear me? You got me?
Yep. There you
Okay,
are. You were freezing up just a little bit, but I think we were keeping up with you.
gotcha. So I don't know if the masters are the same way, but here I'll show. Like the back of the airbrush has an adjustment for the trigger on how far you can pull it. That's why I used these for so long,
Yes.
is because I needed to build that muscle memory of how far back I needed to pull and be less aggressive with it. And now
Mhm,
the
mhm.
Iowata is just second nature. I just push down and slowly start feeding it, and it
Yep.
just you gotta. I was always told the airbrush in your hand, the time spent, you know, you have to spend the time to learn your airbrush.
Yeah.
And the more time you
Yeah.
spend spraying, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. I would probably be better off to use my Neo a lot more. The one I love to use the most is the Masters, and it has that adjustment on it.
Okay.
Um, that is the only Masters I have that has that adjustment. I have another one, but they're two different models. But the Iwatas definitely, they're a lot touchier. They will, you pull that thing fully back and you're gonna get some paint. That is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Keep on
So
lagging a little bit.
let me ask you a little bit tougher question here. Is there a certain clear coat you like to use?
I use BSI.
I got a puzzle piece here. Got it.
Gotcha.
You use BSI?
Yeah, I've used BSI since day one. I do also, you know, I've painted a couple of Jakes, and those are huge baits, 10, 11-inch baits. BSI didn't work, to be able to have that time that you need to clear coat those. So I have used the two-part um, Alumilite epoxy on a wheel turner. So I have done that. Um, I've messed with some of the resins for UV. I just can't get the quality, the smoothness like some of the other guys on here can out
Yeah.
of them, and
Yeah.
good for them. I mean, that's great. They found something that works for them. Um,
Yep.
I just been using BSI since day one, so I stick to what I know and what works for me. Um, touch on that too, but the guys I paint for, they don't want UV. They want
No.
epoxy. They want that thing to hold up. So they will specifically say, they don't want anything else other than epoxy on their clear coat. So that's
Yeah.
why I just stick with that.
So you stick with the BSI two-part epoxy even over the other two-part epoxy. You said Alumilite.
Yeah, I do. And it's so I guess my thing is when we were knocking out as many baits as we were in a day, um, we could hook and ring within 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 hours, you could grab that bait, you could start hooking and ringing them. You can't fish them yet, but you can already start handling them without them still being tacky or doing anything to the clear coat.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why I've always used it, is just for the turnaround time that you could produce was way
Yeah.
faster than having lures sit in a turner for 24 to 48 hours.
And that's the thing is yes, on the Alumilite two-part epoxy, you definitely get more work time, but
Yeah,
it takes a lot more time. You're talking like that 24 to 48. You can't even touch it to see if maybe you have a dry spot or something.
yeah,
Um, so BSI is what I have used from day one. And I'll be honest with you, I've never tried anything else. Um, I enjoy the BSI. I'm pretty good with it, and I know how to fix all my mistakes with it. So
yeah. And I don't know, maybe I'd
that's what I
just because
stick
I
with.
don't say anything or talk much on, stuff, but I also, before, a lot of people would just BSI and they hang it, call it good. Well, that BSI for the next 5, 10 minutes is still liquidy. It's going to move after you clip it and hang it. So I actually hit mine with a
Yep.
blow dryer real quick, and then I throw it on a rotator. So I still spin mine. It's just I don't let it spin for 24 hours. So I'll let it sit on the rotator and even out the
Okay.
coat for about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just gives it that nice, smooth gloss finish, that everybody tries to achieve on their clear coats.
Okay. Okay. Well, as you're saying that, it brings to my attention maybe that was my mistake. Somebody mentioned a turner to me. I went ahead and I built a turner, and the two times that I used it, my baits didn't come out as good. But I left them on the turner overnight, and with
Gotcha.
BSI, I don't need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll epoxy them. I'll hit them real quick with my air dryer for a couple seconds, and then right onto the wheels, spin for a couple minutes, and then I just hang them. I don't have that big of a rack or a turner to, turn a bunch at once. So as soon as I
Yeah,
get done with the first batch, I'll move them over behind me and hang them up on the wall.
I do love the hair dryer trick. When I do my BSI, I get my coats on there. I make sure everything's covered, and before I hang them, I hit them with that hair dryer, and it blows that BSI nice and smooth. If you had a brush mark or a little dry spot, which it can happen, it that heat lets it go, kind of flow over the whole bait. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to try the turner again. I think I'll try it for just a couple hours after it's done and then leave it to hang.
Well, I think a lot of people lean towards the BSI because BSI is self-leveling.
Yes.
So it's got that factor in it too. You like you said, you may miss a spot, but it's going to self level itself out, and depending on how big of an area you missed, it's going to cover it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff, man. See, I knew I'd learn something. I knew I'd learn something.
Getting it
uh,
out of me, getting it out of me.
That's what it's all about. It's all about getting the information out there, the information that wants to be shared.
Yeah,
There are some things that nobody wants to share, certain little techniques and things, but something like what we just talked about is a very simplistic thing, and there's hundreds of people that know it.
yeah.
It's just maybe some of the people in the chat or me myself haven't heard it yet. And now that we have, it's definitely something I'm going to try. So I have the turner, I just haven't used it. It's just been sitting out in the garage.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's brought this up either, but I use a hair dryer, but I also use either like a pantyhose over the top front of it, or I'll use like a rice cloth in the front of it.
Mhm.
Because if you look at your air dryer and look inside it, all those coils, there's all kinds of dust. That's the last thing you want to blow all over your bait is any of those dust particles come flying on your clear coated bait.
See, I never thought about that. Because I have noticed I'll get done with a bait and it looks great. I'll hit it with that hair dryer real quick, and I'm like, well, what the heck is that? Where did that come from? And honestly, my hair dryer's it's right here. So not just basic dust, but paint dust.
Oh yeah,
How did I get this little itty bitty orange speck in my bait? Well, maybe that's how.
and that's what you'll hear. I know Lauren talks about it all the time. He paints one day and then epoxies the next, and I'm the same way. I do not spray when I got baits hanging with epoxy.
Yeah.
So I'll wait until that epoxy's cleared. For me, it's 2 to 3 hours is all I gotta wait with the BSI, and then I can go back to painting again, and not have to worry about getting a bunch of dust or anything all over that clear coat and getting it to stick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the little things, man. It really is. It's those little things that can make or break you.
Yeah.
And as a new painter, and I know there's always new painters in the chat. Um, I there's people taking notes. I can tell you right now. I've already taken a couple.
I
So
mean, I don't hold any information for the most part. So if anybody has any questions, I mean, feel free, hit me up.
yeah.
I'm more than willing to share about 90% of the stuff.
Hit him up or just wait a little bit,
Yeah,
write
or
it
just
down.
wait and do
And
it
you
in
can
here.
ask him in the chat. Give us just a little while. We're getting to that point. We're moving right along, and what a great conversation, man. I knew this was going to be good. With the years of experience that you have, I interview a lot of people, and like you said, there's a lot of new painters out there. That doesn't mean anything about their knowledge. Some of these new painters are completely not knowledgeable before they even touch the brush. I was for just not mentioning any names. I was in a live with somebody who was showing someone else who was a brand new painter. I mean, this kid had just picked up the airbrush, and they're like, "Nah, you don't get to spray anything. You got to tear that thing down, put it back together, and start spraying a plate or a napkin. Start spelling your name. Start doing real fine lines to thicker lines. They were putting them through the ringer,
Oh
and
yeah, I
you
I got
know,
put through the same thing.
I watched this kid paint today, and he's advancing quickly, and may it be his artistic ability that's advancing him quickly, or the fact that the people showing him are showing him the correct ways.
Yeah.
um, but he's advancing quick, and well, don't say the name Sage. Yes, it is. I'm talking about Jigs on Wheels. He is advancing quickly. I seen some of his baits today. I was on lunch and just jumped in his live real quick, and Paul Tart was in there. I think Twisted Richie was in there, and he's holding up some baits that he does not look like he just started painting them. I believe a couple months ago now.
Yeah.
Um, he's doing good. He's
Yeah,
doing
he
good.
is very, very good.
Yeah. So, and he just got a lift for his truck. In case you guys don't know, Wheels is a good buddy of ours, and he is in a wheelchair, and it's hard for him to just go fishing like me or you do. He has to have somebody take him. He didn't have a lift for his wheelchair. So basically, he would get with a lift. He could get out of his wheelchair into his truck, and then use the lift to put the wheelchair in the back of the truck, and vice versa to get out. And we don't think about these things, but that's what was limiting him to his fishing time. Um, Now he has that, we'll call it a hoist for his truck. So he should be fishing a lot more, which is great. That's great. So when it comes to, let me start with this question. Do you ever get painter's block?
Yes.
And what is something that you would suggest or that you do to get through that?
I typically just end up going on. I like doing realistic, you know, match the hatch type baits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go on there and just start scrolling. And whether I pick up the airbrush that day or not, you know, doesn't hurt anything. Just get the creative minds going again, and think of different ways of layering paints and how you can get this effect that you're trying to get out of it. Um, there's been times where I didn't paint for a month, you know, and it's either burnt out, just can't really think of much, or the creative juices. And the drive just really isn't there at that time. I got to feel it. If I'm not feeling it, I can't spray.
No.
Now, a lot of guys are like, well, you're a walleye painter. It's 3 colors, 4 colors max. Yeah, it is maybe only 3 or 4 colors max, but at the same time, the creative mind's got to be there to think of how you're going to lay those out. And if you can't think of how you're going to lay your colors, there's no point in picking up the airbrush. Not for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you bring that up. I haven't picked up my airbrush probably in 3 weeks now. One reason is it's fishing season, and that's why I got into painting baits to begin with. So I'll be fishing. But yeah, the drive just hasn't been there. I don't know that I'm burnt totally out. I just received some new baits from Pretty Lure. I just got the new strikers in, and I've had them for 2 days now, and I haven't touched them. So it'll come back, but right now it's fishing, man.
Yeah.
I want to get out there and I want to fish. So, and let me grab a comment here from Pretty Lures. Pretty Lures says there's an army of support in the community to get anyone going quickly, and everyone helps. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it, and nobody's really afraid to just tell you how to do stuff. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. Somebody can show you the exact same colors they used on the exact bait and tell you how to do it. And once you start becoming your own painter, it's not going to look the same as theirs. We do it all the time in these paint-offs. The Friday Night Lives, they get 3 to 4 colors, and I think they could give you the exact 3 colors you're going to use. You can only use this pattern, and you have to do it on this blank, and maybe even tell you which colors you have to use in which order. And none of those baits are going to be the same. Not a one of them.
No.
And as a matter of fact, I see them do this, and the stuff that these guys come up with, Paul Tark and Barrett and Smith and Whiskey and everybody else that's randomly in there, I never would have thought of using those colors in that way. You know, they come up with some amazing baits, and all I can think of is like a 2 to 3 tone pattern, and Barrett's over there with lightning bolts and all this. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I was in the last Friday Night Live, and some of the stuff that those guys came up with, I was like, wow.
They're just on the spot. They're so quick.
Well, yeah. I mean, you give Paul 3 colors, and he's got 4 baits done before you can even start thinking of how you're going to lay yours down.
Yes. Some of those guys are really fast, but the Friday Night Live guys, they were doing that for years. I can't tell you exactly how long. I know that some of them are down in the chat if they want to tell me how long they actually did that for, but they did it for a while, so they're really quick with it all. But it takes you outside of the box. What's that?
I said when I first started on here, it was only a couple months that I seen them, and they started doing their Friday Night Lives. So they were doing it for a while.
Yeah. But it makes you think outside of that box. It makes you get outside your comfort zone. Not only think outside the box and use the colors that they tell you, but do it efficiently. I won't say quickly, because they're not going to, be like, oh, you're not done yet, we're moving on to the next bait. But it gives you that drive to get it done a little quicker, and to really think fast. So let me ask you, what bait or color scheme would you like to see more of that you don't think enough people are doing? If the answer is none, it's none.
I mean, see pretty wide variety of different colors of baits. And it, especially being a walleye guy, I mean, you got your golden shiners, your creek chubs, spot tail shiners, all those, and then you got your crazy colors. But if it was to go off of a natural minnow,
Mhm.
um, I would say probably a creek chub. You don't see a lot of custom painters paint creek chubs.
Okay.
Um, I mean, you see a lot of gobies and stuff like that in different
Yep.
colors, patterns, and stuff. But as far as I know, and what I've seen, I mean, I'm maybe like one of four, maybe that I know of that paint a creek chub pattern.
Oh wow. Sounds like sounds like you'd like to see more creek chub patterns done then.
I mean, just to it's so that I'm not just looking. I mean, here's one that I did on a wee shed from Pretty Lures.
Hmm.
So just so that you get some variation out there. I mean, yeah, it's a natural looking minnow, but at the same time, a natural minnow that's just a little bit different is what's going to get eaten.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Everybody does like to do the exact. If you're doing a sexy shad, you want to make it just like that sexy shad picture that you're seeing. But the truth of it is, a little bit of variation to it is really what catches the fisherman and can potentially catch that big bass. So,
Yeah.
good
And as you
point.
think about it, a lot of the fish see in that blue green, spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that, and it's no secret. It was just something I came up with a long time ago. But a pearl white square bill with a turquoise or yellow fluorescent, like the sexy shad pattern or
Mm-hmm.
line, going into a turquoise, going into purple was
Okay.
my hottest bait, and it caught smallies, it caught largies, and it caught walleye like crazy. And so I'll let I mean, not the prettiest thing, I'll get that, but it caught fish.
that's that's what you want, though.
Yes.
There are people out there who buy baits because, ooh, that bait's pretty, right? You caught the fisherman. Doesn't matter if it catches fish, you caught the fisherman. But then there's plenty of guys out there who know exactly what colors they want to use. And it doesn't matter how pretty that bait is. If it's not in the colors that are going to catch the fish where they're at, they're not buying them.
Yep.
So you got to think about that as well.
Well,
So,
yeah, and that's the hard part with the selling perspective. You're trying to catch not only the fishermen, you're also trying to catch the fish at the same time.
yes, yes. But, um, a lot of times once you have a customer, a fisherman, who maybe you caught him with just that one bait because he thought it was pretty, they typically come back and they ask for more and different stuff. And 90% of the time, they're going to ask you for a custom bait in colors that they want. Um,
Yeah.
and I've had that happen quite a few times. Maybe they just bought one of my um, ghost baits, right? The ghost bait is something I haven't done in a little while. It's just multiple skulls down the side of a lure. Maybe they just bought that one, and then the next thing you know, they're like, "Hey, I'd really like a bluegill pattern square bill or 2.5, 1.5, or whatever it may be," and it does lead into business. So,
It does.
um, so without giving away too much, what bait or color scheme do you like to fish the most?
Um, there's not really a specific one that I fish the most. It's more of the lure, it's the style. So I use mainly lipless crankbaits. Um,
Okay.
and I use them, I like to finesse fish. So it's actually a copy of a plastic that I used to do really well with. And it's just a transparent black. the whole entire bait with a little bit of black flake in the clear coat epoxy, and that's it.
Just simple,
Yep.
straightforward.
Works on cloudy
Okay.
days, works on sunny days, and it works in every color body of water there is.
I have to say that the first time I fished a crankbait, it was a black one. It was a black crankbait, and I caught a ton of fish on it. I was just out there at the right time, the right day. Everything was just perfect. But it was a black crankbait, and the guy that I fish with wanted to fish crankbaits after that, and the first one he bought was a black crankbait, and we fished just black crankbaits all that summer, and we caught fish all summer long. So
Yeah, that's probably one of, no, I won't say probably, that is one of the most requested that I get is, a
yeah,
black and a gold in it, or just a straight black, or, a transparent black, on a clear bait. Just a
yeah,
couple variations, but yeah, that's probably the number one color I get asked to paint.
very cool. So when you fish, is it mainly from the boat or from the bank?
I have a boat, but it sits in my driveway.
So you
So
fish from
yeah,
the bank?
I'd fish from the bank. Yeah.
Yeah. I always say it, and I'll say it again. I've been a bank fisherman, since I started fishing, and now that I have a boat, it's a different ball game. I will catch more fish from the bank than I will my boat, just because I'm still learning the boat, how to position it, how to read my graphs, and do all this stuff. Control the boat with the trolling motor, do all this stuff all at once. Whereas when I'm on the bank, I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I fan cast it out. I use what baits I want. I know, where to go for the fish. So it is a different ball game from the boat.
Yeah,
So
I've had a boat since I was 12 years old, but I still prefer to fish off the bank. It's the hassle. I don't typically have a lot of time to go out and fish. So when I do get the time, I don't want to have to worry about loading the boat, unloading the boat, make sure I got everything in it, all that stuff. By the time you hit the water, you just lost another hour.
yeah, I won't disagree. When I get off work, I don't think I'm running home to grab the boat. Like today, I went straight from work straight to the bank, and I caught fish. So
Yeah.
that's what I was after.
Yep.
Um, so do you fish mainly freshwater, or do you fish saltwater at all?
No, only fresh.
Freshwater. All right. So last big question, and then we're going to get to some giveaways and things. Is there a piece of advice you would like to share, maybe with the new painters, or a piece of advice that was shared with you that maybe has stuck with you your whole life?
Yeah, it's how to get, layering, how to layer your colors. And I was always taught start with your lightest color first and you work your way up,
Mhm.
you know. But then also how you angle the bait to get that layer effect that you're looking for. For me, and it's always been a struggle, is how to get that smooth transition from one color into another. And unless you're doing it every single bait all the time, you got to realize how much overspray, where you need to start on that bait and how far you bring it down. And then where you start your next color, where you start that, how much higher up, and then bring that one down until you get that smooth transition.
Yeah.
And if you mess with certain paints and mess with the certain layerings of your base coat and everything, you can actually create a change color bait without even ever using a change color paint, all
Yes.
naturally just by how you layer it.
Yeah. That's some good advice. I've done one bait in the style that you're talking about, where you get that color shift with no color shift, and it's amazing when it pulls together. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
wow. That looks it looks like you just took a Vallejo color shift and kind of threw it on there, and it's nothing but layers of different paints sprayed from different angles, and it really does work. If you haven't
Oh
tried it
yeah,
as a painter, I suggest you try it. Give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? You got to wipe it off and start over. You know.
and I, and I spray
Um,
a lot of transparent bleaks as well as a lot of fluorescent colors. But when I'm doing my naturals, I always start with my black detail first. That's maybe the only thing that really kind of maybe separates me from some people. I don't know, but if you think about it, black is the darkest thing, and no matter what you layer over to the top of that, unless it's a pearl or metallic color, it's going to eat those up. But if it's transparent, candy, anything like that, that black is always going to come through. So you can not constantly just keep on layering that depth from the very first coat you put down all the way through that bait.
yeah, yeah. Good advice, man. Good advice. I knew this interview was going to be good. I knew we'd get some stuff out of you.
Yeah.
So I don't know about everybody else, and I'm sure them too, but we have got to see the very first bait that you painted before we go on any further.
All right. So don't laugh, but that's it.
Just just a two color fade.
Two color fade with a green or a gold or silver, yeah, gold scale pattern on the top of it.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Light has to hit it.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
and
with that
that's
at all.
that's it. That
Have
was
you
the very
caught
first
fish with
one.
it?
And I actually painted that one and then another one after it that was black, and I lost the black one to a big northern when I first started painting them. So that one got thrown in the box and never gets used anymore since that's the only other one that I painted.
He's like, I'm not losing both of
Yeah.
them.
So yeah, to look back at where I knew I had it, I just didn't know where. But to
Yeah.
dig it out of the box and look at it, and then, I mean, I got baits scattered all around this room. And to look
Oh.
at some of the stuff that I have on the table now, it's like, okay, a lot better now. I wouldn't even buy that thing back then.
But at the time, you were impressed. You did
Yes.
that first bait and you went, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not
I was like,
bad.
okay, maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I can actually paint something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my whole thing of getting into it was, I'm an avid painter. It's easier for me to paint them and the price point than it is for me to go drop $10, at the local store for the variation of colors that I want.
Yeah. Yeah. So so all the stuff that you've talked about, you still do to this day, from tying the flies to blade baits and all that stuff. So they can
Yeah,
just reach out to you and they can get any of that stuff from you.
yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. If you guys are interested in anything that he has to offer, make sure you get a hold of him, send him a message. You can find him right here. You can also find him over on the book. And over on the book, you're not using Walleye Guy, or are you?
No, I'm using my real name, Travis.
Okay. Okay. So they can get over there and find you. I think we've went through quite a few questions. We're not quite done with the questions yet. I'm sure the chat has some questions for you. But first, let's get into some giveaways. Give him a
Let's
little
do it.
break.
Let's do it. Yeah, I could use a quick little 2-second break here.
Yeah. So, what we're going to do is we're going to bring up Bubba from Bubba's Custom Baits. And we're going to let him spin the wheel of suspense. Let me see if I can find him here real quick. He might have already requested. I don't see him. I see TRS. Who we going to bring up? He is in the middle of dealing with a problem. Okay. Not me, not me. Oh, okay, TRS. If you'd like to do it, that'd be great. I will send you an invite here. Hello, how are you this evening?
I'm loading it. Oh.
She's loading it up. Remember, guys, you have to have commented or at least liked the live to be part of the giveaway. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that now to make sure you're part of this giveaway. You have to have a number beside your name. And the only way to get that is to have commented or liked the live. So make sure you've done that.
Do we got?
Let me take a look. This will be for Pretty Lure. We always do the Pretty Lure one first. And we are going to do for 29 people tonight. So there's going to be 29 people in the giveaway. She's going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, I will go to the top right-hand corner, and I will find whose name is by that number.
Everyone
Here we go. Are you ready? Number 15 is going to be Baby.
Nice.
Number 15 is Baby. And I remember the other day, he was screaming rigged before it was even over. So I'm going to say
rigged.
There it is. Now it's rolling. So Waleye Guy has 2 giveaways. I am going to put him in the big box. Congratulations, baby, on the win. We're going to put him in the big box, and he has a couple giveaways he'd like to do. I'll let him explain them.
Yeah, so the first one I'll do is some lures. So I've got a rock crawler. I believe that's what you guys call these. Perch, lipless, some hair jigs, a creek chub in a shallow dive bait, and then
don't give away my
last but not least, the one I'm probably most known for is my Bandit crackle pattern.
Oh, that's nice.
That, and then I also had grabbed some plastics that I use from other small bait makers. So you will get a pack of various style plastics from Cast and Pull.
Nice.
And you will also get some Miko paddle tails in various sizes.
Miko. And how many people do we have in for this one? 33. So 33 people in this giveaway. Good luck to everyone. It looks like you're going to get quite a prize pack. She's going to spin the wheel, and we are going to find out who wins his first giveaway. Number 25, scrolling down as quick as we can. Tim the Candyman.
Nice, Tim. Congrats. Oh, wait, it's rigged.
Tim the Candyman wins the giveaway. How do you enter? You have to like or comment on this live. And then once you've done so, it puts a number beside your name, and that puts you into the giveaway. We choose a random number. And if that number happens to be beside your name, you win the giveaway. So he does have a second giveaway he'd like to do, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, so the second giveaway is since Pretty Lures has done so much for us as a bait making community. I like supporting small, businesses,
Yeah.
and I also bought a $25 e-gift card to give away as well.
Oh, wow. So it will be a gift card to Pretty Lure. I'm going to look and see how many people are in for this one. Now we're doing 34 people in on this giveaway.
All right,
She's going to
here
enter
we are.
spinning the wheel of suspense. Number 9. That's a low number. Number 9 is, well, you can't say it's been a month now. That's Northwater
No!
Tackle.
Congrats, Jeff.
Nice.
Just text me or
Northwater
I'll text
Tackle.
you.
Congratulations.
I'll text you the e-gift card number, Jeff.
Northwater, I get 10%, right?
And what is 007 says, my name is Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That is how the giveaways are done. If you are new in here, make sure anytime we go live with the podcast that you either like or comment, like or comment on the live. That automatically puts you in the giveaway. I don't let people guess numbers because we've usually got way too many people in here for that, and it would take a while to do. Basically, if you've liked or commented on the live, it puts a number beside your name, and then we randomly choose one of those numbers, and hopefully it's the number beside your name. Appreciate the help. Thank you so much, TRS. If you don't know TRS and Bubba's Custom Baits, they are custom bait makers. Make sure you go over and check them out. They are my moderators. I'd like to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all the moderators that are in here. They are doing the hard work in the background. We get a lot of people that come in here and want to do kind of spamming in the chat, and they take care of that for me. Half the time I don't even notice it. They send me messages after the live and they're like, did you see what that guy was saying? And I'm like, no, I had no idea.
Let me do my moderator duties.
uh,
I'll do my moderator duties and get rid of this Northwater's Tackle Co. guy here.
Get rid of Northwaters. But yeah, they do a lot of the hard work in the background, so I greatly appreciate them. I have a select few that I make moderators in here just because I went over kind of how we were going to do things in the beginning. And basically, if you're in here and you're respectful, you don't have to worry about it. If you're in here and you're disrespectful, you're going to get a warning and we're going to mute you, right? We're going to give you that chance to not act like that. And if you do it a second time, well, then we have to say goodbye. Because we have plenty of people in here, very serious people who are in here to gain knowledge and really support a local bait maker, just like Waleye Guy over here. And we take it seriously. So that's the way we like to keep it. Thank you so much, TRS. I appreciate you and all your help.
No problem.
And we will get back to the chat and take some questions. These usually come pretty fast. So guys, you can definitely put a question down in the chat. I will try to get to all of them. If I miss your question, make sure you put it back in there again and we'll try and get to it. So if you yourself have a question for Waleye Guy, go ahead and type it in now. We're going to disconnect TRS here. Lots of gifts, crew.
Yeah, thanks for all the gifts, guys. Appreciate
Mods
it.
can't boot mods. All the gifts coming through, showing you some love. That's always nice. So let me start with a question. I'm going to ask a question that I deliberately don't ask every time to see if it comes through in the chat. And that is, oh, here we got a question. Is there a bait you don't want to paint again? Holly wants to know, is there a bait you don't want to paint again?
No, not really. I guess by doing so many of them in different styles, yeah, it gets a little old painting the same walleye baits, the same similar patterns, colors, trying to think of new ones. That's why if you've seen and followed the last recent posts, I've done a lot of glide baits lately and for bass fishing, and I'm really liking the glide baits. It's a bigger canvas to paint on. You can do a lot more stuff with them, so I'm really starting to like that, even though I'm not a bass guy.
You're doing an amazing job with them. I've seen some of them that you've done, and you're definitely an artist. They look really good. So Rebecca Brasher wants to know, what advice can you give my husband to catch a big bass? What? Rebecca.
The lure has to be in the water. That's about my knowledge on bass fishing.
All right. I'm going to start from the bottom because I try and keep up with the chat and just kind of scroll slow and it jumps all the way to the bottom. So Allie Critters wants to know, who's your favorite new painter?
I don't like using the word favorite, and that's just me. I'd have to say the ones that that are new, that I know of that are new. Um, Holly's pretty new. I spent a lot of time in the same chat with her. Jigs, and like we said earlier, he's very new. I don't think I don't ever use the word favorite because
Okay.
to me, we're all a community together. The growth and the advancements that I have seen some of these newer painters where they are now, and I look back, it took me years to get to where they are.
Yeah.
It's just mind boggling. But then you look back too, when I first started, there wasn't a whole lot of bait makers sharing their secrets on YouTube. There wasn't those channels out there. So you were basically self taught because everything was a big secret.
Yeah.
You had to do the homework on your own. So with the knowledge and that we have today in the groups with social media, most people around here are 100% going to answer your question if you're struggling with something.
Yes, they
As
are.
long as it's not a secret that they do, they're going to help you out.
Yeah. Yeah. You're 100% right. Well, right along those same lines, you get it again. So this one's phrased a little different, but who's your favorite bait maker?
Um, I'd have to say I've been watching a lot of Marlon Bates.
Yeah. He's the
Been
one
watching a
that's
lot of
custom
his.
carving and adding
Yeah,
lead to the bait. I've been watching him quite a bit too. He's really good.
yeah, he is. And I don't quote me on it, but I think he used to be a bait engineer for a big manufacturer. I think.
Ah, that would make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it when you look at those. A lot of people turn the cheek, but when you think about how many hours is in a carved lure, I didn't realize it until I started doing it. Now I understand why they are the price that they are.
It's all about you were talking about it earlier, what's your time worth and how
Yeah,
much time does it take? You want one of the hand carved lures, you're not getting them for, 15, 20. You're going to have to you really need to want that lure because you're going to have to pay for it. So
Yep.
it comes down to how bad do you want it. So yeah, great answer though. If you could fish with anyone, past or present, who would it be with and why? North Waters wants to know.
Oh man. You know, from a non-tournament perspective, my grandfather. You know, just sharing the boat with me, my dad, and him. The
Yeah.
three generations of us just going out and us three just having a great time out on the water, just fishing. You know, enjoying the time together and the memories. Um, if it was from a tournament perspective and who I could gain probably the most knowledge from, Tommy Scarless for sure.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah. Both great answers. Both great answers. Let me see if I can take some more here. Sims Tails and Tackle wants to know bucket list lake.
Oh, I got to knock that off 2 years ago. That was Lake Erie. Um, a new bucket list lake. I would have to say probably like Leech. I mean, it's here in our state, but that would probably be the next one that I would really like to get up to and fish is Leech Lake here.
Okay.
But yeah, Lake Erie was my bucket list lake for several years.
It's an amazing lake to fish on. There's just
It is.
nothing, not
And
much
I've been,
compares to it.
well, yeah, and that was just mind blowing. I remember my dad lived in Columbus, or stepdad lived in Columbus, so we went out there and visited his family. I think I was like 7 years old, 9 years old. And, you know, we got one of them cabins along the shore. You know,
Yes.
you look out and you just see water, but I don't really remember too much of it.
Yeah.
And I've been in a boat since I was a little kid, and I have never been taken out in a boat by a wave. And Erie did that to me like 3 times. Just took my feet right out from underneath me in the
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah. It can get rough and it can get dangerous pretty quick, but it's also kind of the allure to the lake because not only do you not have to know how to fish it, you have to know how to navigate it. And if you
Yeah,
don't know both of them, it could be a bad day. It could be a very bad day.
like I would have never thought that we were going to be 14 feet of water and pinching almost an ounce lead jigs just because of the current.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that was insane to me. I'm like, what? We should be using like an eighth or a quarter ounce. Nope. That thing is so gone as soon as it hits the water.
You can use an eighth or a quarter ounce, but it's never going to
Well,
touch
yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, it'll be gone before you even you won't even see it on the live scope. It'll be gone.
Yep. Yep. Killjoy Custom Lures wants to know, do bigger hooks catch bigger fish?
They don't catch bigger fish, but they'll keep them hooked up. That's one of the
Do
things I do personally is I upsize my hook.
you?
I don't know if a lot of people do that, but I'll upsize the hooks. They have a less chance of shaking it.
So let me get this comment out there. North Waters Tackle was the one who answered the question. If you could fish with anybody, past or present, who would it be? And he said he was not ready for the first part of your answer. And the second one, he fully agrees. So I really like the first part of your answer, you know, getting you, your grandfather, and your father all to fish together.
Yeah,
That just shows that fishing is it's embedded deep in your family. If that's kind of the first thing you think of, is I'd like to get all three of us together. So great answer. JG Custom Lures, what's up, buddy? He said, will you be joining the St. Jude auction again for 2027?
yes, that is my full intentions. I've only missed 1 year of it,
Yeah.
so I definitely plan on doing it again.
What a great organization he has going on over there. And when it gets close to those times, we start to mention it here. We did it this year, and they had a great auction this year. I know he was having some issues, some personal things going on. We'll just leave it at that. To where he didn't get to organize quite as much as he usually does. He had some family things to take care of.
Yeah,
So I believe 2027 is going to be a great year for them, and hopefully no more family issues to where he can concentrate on what he likes to do, and that's raise money for St. Jude's. And a lot of
exactly.
people participate in it. And if you don't know JG's Custom Lures, make sure and go over and give him a follow and check out some of that stuff. You can see some of the previous stuff that he's done. And a lot of people participate in that. It is a completely legit organization for St. Jude's Hospital. So,
Yep. And it's amazing what he's done with it in just a short amount of time that he's been doing it.
yeah. And him himself, just what a great
Oh
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Him, he's 100. There was times when I first met him that I was sitting back and forth and message each other on Facebook Messenger, and you know pitch ideas back and forth at each other and stuff. Yeah, great guy.
There you go. Holly says she's in. Poo Fishing for You says, I gave you a follow, JG's.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
plan on doing more and more every year. I try to anyway.
Yeah. So before we get too much further, I do want to announce who we're going to have on next week. And if you don't know him, you're living under a rock. That's how I want to put it. It's going to be Outdoors with Tiny. Outdoors with Tiny is a well-known guy in the bait making community. Does amazing work, and he does a lot for the kids as well. Any gifts when he does his lives, all the gifts get added up at the end of the year, and he uses all that to buy stuff for kids for fishing. But I wanted to announce that it will be our 25th episode. So kind of a milestone for the podcast, 25th episode. And it's going to be Outdoors with Tiny. And we do have a few surprises in store for the 25th episode. So make sure you're watching for the posts. And for now, we'll get back to the Walleye Guy. I'm sure we got more questions because if you guys don't, I do.
Hey JG, I'll take those jigs from a few years ago though, so I can donate them.
Pooh Fishing. That's actually where I met Pooh Fishing, was over at Tiny's podcast. He runs a podcast. It's called Real Fishing. Have you caught an episode of that?
I haven't been able to catch an episode of that yet. Typically, my work ends up running a little late on the days that he goes, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's on my priority list to hit, and tune into his as well.
Yeah. That's actually where I met Pooh Fishing and 706 and quite a few other people. I'm not going to name them all. But me and Tiny have been talking. I actually got to meet him down at the Columbus show. What a great guy, just a stand-up guy. And Pooh Fishing, that is where I met her, and she's a great person as well. She usually tunes in over here, and if you cannot, let me tell you this though, if you can't catch his episodes, he actually rebroadcasts on Spotify.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yep. So
No, I have to check that out.
you can go check out his previous episodes on Spotify, which is kind of unique. I never thought of doing that, but he does, and he said it's doing okay. So
Yeah, I met Pooh over in with Tiny, and she was in Cast and Poles live.
yes,
That's where I met her.
Yeah. Well, and Tiny has a lot of sponsors and a lot of people, and he does his box giveaways and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So very unique. That's actually how I met him to begin with. Is starting the podcast. He was restarting his podcast, and he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know." He actually sent me a message and told me to give him a call, that he wanted to talk to me about something. And I'm like, who's this? I don't know this guy. I know him
Yeah.
from seeing him on here. And I called him, and as soon as he started talking, he just sounds like that guy you could talk to. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
just sounds like a good guy. And he just wanted to talk to me about starting his own podcast. And he's like, I'm not doing anything to compete with you. As a matter of fact, we can help each other. And we've done that ever since. And I still talk to him to this day. If it's not once a week, it's twice a week, you know?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Who asked a question here? What is your biggest walleye? Would you catch it with? So my biggest walleye is 29 3/4 inches, and it's just shy of 12 pounds. And I caught it on a
Wow.
one. Caught it on a patterned 110 that we called the white ghost. It was just white on
Yeah.
top, white on the belly, and some glitter. That's what I caught it on.
Can you say it one more time? You faded out there for just a second.
Yeah, so 29 3/4, just shy of 12 pounds. And I caught it on a white 110 jerkbait that we custom painted.
Nice. Very nice. I think that was the only question that came
I
through.
think so.
So let me ask you, what is your PB? So that would be your PB in walleye, correct?
Yep.
So what else do you fish for besides walleye, and what would be the biggest fish you ever caught?
So I've done in Colorado. I did a lot of lake trout fishing when I lived there. So I walleye, lake trout. I smallie fished a little bit when I was there. Um, in Minnesota, um, catfish. Now that I'm here, I do catfishing. I make my own catfishing route, call things or whatever,
Yeah.
rigs. And so I do that, sturgeon, fishing, pretty much anything outside of bass.
You say that like you're going to get attacked.
Not that there's anything wrong with bass fishing. It's just never been something that it's foreign to me. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah. So the biggest fish you ever caught would be?
Oh, the biggest fish I ever caught would probably be a 23-pound channel cat.
That's a fish.
Yeah.
That took you what, 2 seconds to reel that thing in?
I don't know because my dad tells me I was 23 pounds. I was 9 years old, and he was holding on to my little life jacket saying, just keep on reeling. So all I see is pictures, back in the day when they were, actual developed pictures, is the
Yeah.
catfish laying on some driveway at my grandpa's house, and I'm laying down right next to it.
Yeah.
And the fish is bigger than me.
Yeah.
That would probably be, oh no, actually, I take that back.
Okay.
First year I moved to Minnesota, I went catfishing and I caught a 50-pound muskie.
Holy cow.
I forgot all about that. Yeah,
That
I was
was a heck of
catfishing.
a fight.
Oh, yeah. Good thing I had my cat rod because that's
Yeah.
what I caught it on. I was catfishing, and yeah, it was a 15-minute fight. And then as soon as we had an undersized net, as soon as we got the head into the net, my line broke.
the muskie is a whole different ball game of fishing,
Oh
and
yeah,
if you accidentally catch one and it's a good massive size, they will spool you so quick, because if you don't give them their time to run, you're never getting that thing in.
yeah.
um,
No, it was a 50-inch JG. Sorry, not 50 pounds, 50-inch.
okay.
I don't know how big it was because it was heavy. I mean, I had to double cradle it. I didn't have a scale at the time, and it was out of season. I just wanted to get it back in the water healthily, and
Yeah.
it was a fight. It was tired.
Yeah. Wow. There is a lake back in my hometown in Indiana. It's called Backwater Lake, and they catch massive muskie out of there all the time. And I was always afraid fishing for bass that eventually I was going to hook into one, and I would have had no chance on a medium moderate rod. And back then, I was probably only using 10-pound fluoro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I wouldn't have had a chance. It would have either spooled me out or just bit the line directly in half and been gone. You know?
yeah. I think to answer JG, I think when I looked it up based on length and the time when I caught it, it was full of eggs. I think it said it was over 52 pounds is what it would have actually weighed if I would have put it, based on statistics or whatever, based on the inches.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been.
Yeah. That is wild. That is. Boo says her favorite lake has muskie and it's wild. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
whole
never
different.
targeted them.
Yeah.
I mean, when I tell everybody it, I got a video recording of the whole entire thing, and I think you hear the F word about 700 times out of my mouth. But I had I had just casted a brand new worm on my cat pole, and I just casted it out. I went to go stick it down in between the two sticks, the fork sticks, tree branch, and the rod just kept on bending over and loading up. And I was like, oh, I just cast it into a snag. And then all of a sudden the drag just started screaming. And so, yeah, it was on from there.
It was like hooking a log.
Oh, yeah. I think that thing ran me out into the middle of the current like 6 times.
Yeah, they're powerful. It's a pike on steroids.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously strong. They're ridiculously fast, and they do not wear out very easily.
No. No, I mean, I had 65-pound test line, and I thought I was just going to be able to manhandle it in. And nope, that was not the case at all.
Oh, what's up? Get ugly fishing. Good to see you in here, buddy. Oh
Hey, Hillbilly.
my, Hillbilly's in here. Hillbilly was the first interview ever right here on the podcast. That guy is
Nice.
so into fishing. I asked him to do the interview. He said, that's fine. That's great. I can do it. And the time got closer, and I said, hey, you ready to do that interview tonight? He's like, yeah, that's fine, but I'll be out fishing. And I thought, oh no. He
I
set it
thought
up
about
great. He had
I
his
thought about
earbud
doing it.
in. Huh?
I thought about doing it, but then it got windy here.
It was winter time. It was November the first time we done the podcast, but he had a big hood up. He had an earbud in. He had a tripod set up, and it was good. It worked out well. But
I I don't know if is that question for me, Jeff.
what do we got?
Would you be on board with a get together with fellow bait makers on here at some point? I'm assuming that that's he's referring to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been talking about it. If it ever comes down to a meet and greet type thing and we all get together, um, yeah, I'm down. I mean, even if some of us that are in local, you guys aren't far from me, you know, Lauren's not far from you. So, I mean, if we all wanted to carpool and split costs and whatever, I'm game.
There you go.
As
I
long
got to
as we
get
got
up
room
there.
for fishing poles and tackle.
I'm going to have to get up there if North Waters and Holly don't get down here. I've talked to them since day one that they got on TikTok, and they've been talking about coming down here to Erie, even bringing their boat. But I don't know where that's at anymore. And it's a little bit of a drive, but I'd be willing to drive up. Heck, if I drove up that way, that would be close to you and them. And I've met Lauren. He took off early on me. I think it was because he didn't like me. He was down here fishing, and I was supposed to go back again to hang out with him a little longer because neither one of us had much time. And I get on a live, and they're like, "No, Lauren already left. He's on his way home." I'm like, "What?" I was supposed to go back out there tomorrow and see him again. I think it's because he doesn't like me. I really do.
Yeah, I'm game to get together if it ever does happen where we can, you know, even if we can find a place like a community hotel hall or whatever, like their ballroom or something like that, that we could book out and everybody, whatever, you know, $20 is $20. I've spent more than doing other stuff that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Odds are stacking against you, Corey. You might have to travel. That's all right. I can travel. I'm not unwilling to travel. Let's just put it that way. But we did the giveaways. We let you all ask the questions. What a great interview. I don't want to take up your entire night. It's been an absolute amazing interview. I know I took some notes, and there's a few things that I am going to try. I appreciate the tips and the openness and just kind of explaining what you do, how you do it, and some of the tips and tricks that you've learned over the times of doing it. So yeah. Lauren's sending me little kissy faces.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody can't think of a question now and you think of it later on, I mean, feel free. Or you want to run something by, let's collaborate. Let's get our heads together. Maybe we can figure out what it is that needs to be done that you're looking for.
That's awesome, man. Yep. If you guys got a question for him, or maybe you want an answer that we didn't get to tonight, make sure you send him a message. He'll get back with you. He's pretty quick about that too.
Yeah.
But once again, I appreciate you coming on tonight, and I know I'm going to see you on other lives. We'll probably see you on Friday Night Live again. I know a lot of people like to jump in there often. I would like to try and get back in there. I just got to find the time to do it. And right now we're having that tournament over the next 2 weeks, and I am determined to at least catch my PB for the tournament. So we'll see how that goes. But
just don't try orange, and maybe you get your PB.
You know what I caught it on today, though? You know, I don't always use orange. It is my favorite color, and I do have a lot of orange baits hanging on the wall. Orange is my favorite color. It always catches me as a fisherman. I do use orange once in a while, but right now what I'm catching them on is they call it tequila sunrise, right? It's a structure bug. It's black and purple, right? With some orange flake in it. And that's what they're hitting. Throw it right down there with them and give the rod a couple twitches, and the action that those things have is really good. So I fish them weightless. I just pitch them out there weightless and let it just sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
And by the time it gets there, they hit
it. When the water temp starts warming up, I've painted a lot of baits that mimic the plastic that I've done. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it be I had to tape a line because the top of the plastic was clear and the bottom was another color. tape a line on it, and now turn that into a crankbait and watch how fast they destroy it as soon as it goes by their face as you cranking that thing.
Maybe I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I got one outside in the garage in the tackle box, and it was it's a white ice they called it back in the day, and it's clear on the top and white on the belly,
Yeah.
and did the same thing. Just took painter's tape, painted right across it, sprayed the belly, and cleared it. And that thing's been lights out.
That must be David over there on Pretty Lures, because he said Rosalie is laughing that Jeff won.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Some people are just lucky like that.
They are. Lucky. And to answer your question, Lauren, if I can think of who is your favorite painter from Wisconsin, you're the only one I know from Wisconsin that's a painter, so you're lucky. No.
That sounds like a trick question.
It was. But right now he's fishing my home waters right now on my lake. So you better leave some walleye for me.
You're going to lose no matter what. Bubba must be talking to me, saying I'm going to lose this tournament no matter what. Hey, BFE, what's up? Hoghead. Baby wins a lot too. Yeah, he has won quite a few.
Yeah, him and Basscat won quite a bit too as well right off the bat.
Yep. Well, that is it. I appreciate everybody coming in. They will get with you on the giveaway winners. I have them written down. If anybody needs them, I have them written down and I can give them back to you, send them to you in a message. And Bubba says, yes. Yes, talking to you.
Yeah, good thing is the people that did win, I have their cell phone numbers, so I can
text them. With a 1-pounder, so we'll see how that goes. Perfect. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. I hope everyone has a great evening, and we will see you guys very soon.
Thanks.